Since day one of his presidency and even on the campaign trail, Donald Trump has hundreds of times criticized the Iran nuclear deal as one of the worst agreements the US has entered into. On Friday, Trump extended sanctions waivers for Iran under the accord also known as JCPOA. But he said it was the last time he signed the sanctions relief and called for a follow-up agreement which would, quote, fix the JCPOA.
This is a reflection of the dilemma that the administration faces. A deal that's working, a deal they don't like. What do they do about it? They continue so far to waive the sanctions on the grounds that it would be a self-inflicted blow for the U.S. to be isolating itself by saying we're walking away from the deal.
Trump is insisting that the sunset provisions of the JCPOA, under which restrictions on Iran's nuclear activities will be lifted in 10 years, be removed from the deal. The US president has been accused of looking for a pretext to kill the 2015 nuclear agreement between the Islamic Republic and the P5+1 group.
Considering the fact that the deficiencies in the JCPOA seem to be only present in the interpretations and fantasies of Israel's right-wing government and its backers here in the United States, of course, one of the greatest backers here in the United States being Donald Trump and Jared Kushner, this is clearly all generated to destroy the JCPOA. So indeed, this is all an excuse to lead to that ultimate goal.
Iran has repeatedly accused the Trump administration of violating the JCPOA by deliberately trying to dissuade other countries from investing in Iran.
That's what creates this constant feeling of fragility about the deal, which is at some point the Iranians may say, wait a minute, our deal was we get economic relief, you get nuclear relief. Right now you want the nuclear relief and you want to chip away at the economic benefits we're getting.
Most observers and even many officials in the Trump administration believe that the president's withdrawal from the nuclear deal will further tarnish the already distorted image of Washington in the international community. This, they say, would paint the US as an unreliable party in any agreement, no matter how much it's been guaranteed by international bodies like the UN.
Should Donald Trump succeed in destroying the JCPOA, this will bring an end, at least in the short term, to the ability for the United States to be considered a reliable negotiating partner in international agreements and treaties. And so I believe we can explicitly look at the example of North Korea. Should Donald Trump succeed in pulling the United States out of the JCPOA, whether or not the JCPOA is continued with the other P5+1 members and Iran, it would be virtually impossible for the United States to engage in fruitful negotiations with North Korea, seeing as though it would not be trusted in terms of its ability to maintain these agreements.
It is believed that Trump will finally make good on his threat and leave the JCPOA unilaterally. Analysts say this will bring isolation for Washington, which is already alone regarding many issues among its own allies.
I think the chances of the United States plunging into isolation if it fails to maintain its responsibilities under the JCPOA are certain. In fact, the United States' legitimacy and position globally has already been slipping tremendously in the last year under the administration of Donald Trump. And so this will be yet one more diminishment of American global power and a primary example of the inability for the world community to trust the Donald Trump administration and to engage in fruitful negotiations with it.
The EU's powerful members, Russia and China, which are other parties to the deal, have stood united in the face of Trump's threats against the nuclear deal. They have flatly rejected the US president's demand that the deal be renegotiated. It still remains to be seen how far Trump is ready to go to pressure the other 4 veto-holding members of the UN Security Council plus Germany. But whether they resist the US demands for a follow-up deal or not, international law is on Iran's side, which is strongly opposed to such a move.